Life doesn't come with a pause button. Your job is demanding. Your relationships need attention. Bills keep showing up. Your to-do list never seems to get shorter, and sometimes it feels like the universe is throwing everything at you all at once. You're stressed, you're exhausted, and you're wondering how much longer you can keep going like this. I get it. We all have those moments when life feels overwhelming and we're just trying to hold it together. But here's what I've learned, and what science confirms: strength under stress isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. It's a skill you can develop, just like any other skill. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. These aren't complicated strategies that require hours of your day. These are practical, science-backed techniques that you can start using right now to stay strong, stay centered, and actually thrive even when life gets hard. Let's dive in. First, let's talk about what stress actually does to your body, because once you understand this, everything I'm about to share will make so much more sense. When you're under stress, your body goes into survival mode. Your brain releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate increases, your blood pressure rises, your muscles tense up, and your immune system takes a hit. In the short term, this stress response is actually helpful. It's what helped our ancestors run from danger and survive threats. But here's the problem. Most of us aren't dealing with short-term stress anymore. We're dealing with chronic stress that never really goes away. You wake up stressed about work. You're stressed during your commute. You're stressed about money, relationships, health, the future, and your body stays in that heightened stress state for hours, days, weeks, sometimes even years. And chronic stress doesn't just make you feel bad, it literally damages your health. Research shows that chronic stress increases your risk of heart disease, weakens your immune system, contributes to anxiety and depression, disrupts your sleep, and even accelerates aging at a cellular level. But here's the good news. You have way more control over your stress response than you think. And the strategies I'm about to share will help you build what psychologists call stress resilience. That's your ability to bounce back from challenges, stay calm under pressure, and maintain your well-being even when life gets tough. Strategy number 1, move your body, calm your mind. This is hands down one of the most powerful and immediate ways to reduce stress, and it's backed by mountains of scientific evidence. When you exercise, your body releases endorphins. These are natural chemicals that improve your mood and act as painkillers. But that's not all. Exercise also reduces the levels of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline in your bloodstream. It literally burns off the excess energy and tension that builds up when you're stressed. A study from the University of Maryland involving 185 college students found that participating in aerobic exercise just twice a week significantly reduced their overall stress levels and their ability to cope with uncertainty. And you don't need to become a marathon runner or spend hours at the gym. The CDC recommends 150 minutes of moderate exercise per week. That's just about 20 minutes a day. A brisk walk, a bike ride, a yoga session, dancing in your living room. Anything that gets your body moving. I can't tell you how many times I've been completely overwhelmed, feeling like everything is falling apart, and I force myself to go for a 20-minute walk. And by the time I get back, my perspective has completely shifted. The problems are still there, but I feel calmer, clearer, and more capable of handling them. That's not just in my head. That's your nervous system physically shifting from fight or flight mode into a calmer state. That's your brain getting more oxygen and producing chemicals that improve your mood and cognitive function. If you're currently not exercising, start small. Don't overwhelm yourself with ambitious goals. Just commit to 10 minutes a day, a short walk around your neighborhood, some stretching, a few yoga poses. The key is consistency, not intensity. And here's a pro tip. Exercise outside if you can. Studies show that being in nature, even just looking at trees, significantly reduces stress hormones and improves mental health. Combine movement with nature, and you've got a double stress-busting powerhouse. Strategy number 2, master the art of the mental reset. When stress hits, your mind often spirals into worst-case thinking. You catastrophize, you ruminate, you replay problems over and over without actually solving them. This is where mindfulness and breathing techniques become absolute game changers. Mindfulness is simply the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about noticing what's happening right now, in your body and your environment, instead of getting lost in anxious thoughts about the future or regrets about the past. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need to sit in meditation for an hour to get the benefits. Even a few minutes makes a difference. Here's a simple technique you can use anywhere, anytime. It's called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding exercise, and it works by bringing your attention back to your immediate surroundings. When you feel stress rising, pause and notice 5 things you can see around you. It could be a tree, a picture on the wall, your hands, anything. Then notice 4 things you can touch or feel: the texture of your chair, your feet on the ground, the air on your skin. Then 3 things you can hear. Maybe it's birds, traffic, the hum of a fan. Then 2 things you can smell, and finally 1 thing you can taste. This exercise takes less than 2 minutes, and it instantly pulls you out of your stressed out mind and back into the present moment. And when you're present, stress loses a lot of its power, because most of our stress comes from worrying about things that haven't happened yet or dwelling on things we can't change. Another incredibly powerful tool is breath work. Your breath is directly connected to your nervous system. When you're stressed, your breathing becomes shallow and rapid. But when you intentionally slow down your breathing, you send a signal to your nervous system that it's safe to relax. Try this right now. Breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Hold for 4. Exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. Hold for 2. Repeat this 4 times. Notice how different you feel? That's your parasympathetic nervous system activating. That's your body's natural calming mechanism. Turning on research from Harvard Medical School shows that people who practice mindfulness and breathing exercises regularly have lower levels of stress hormones, better emotional regulation, and even physical changes in the brain regions associated with anxiety. The key is making this a daily practice, not just something you do when you're already overwhelmed. 5 minutes in the morning. 5 minutes before bed. That's all it takes to start building resilience. Strategy number 3, fuel your body, protect your mind. When life gets stressful, self-care is usually the first thing to go. You skip meals. You eat junk food because it's quick and comforting. You sacrifice sleep to get more done. You stop doing the things that actually make you feel good. But here's the truth. How you treat your body directly affects how well you handle stress. Let's start with nutrition. When you're stressed, your body uses up more vitamins and minerals, especially B vitamins, magnesium, and vitamin C. These nutrients are crucial for your nervous system, energy production, and stress response. If you're not eating well, you're running on empty, and trying to handle stress on empty is like trying to drive a car with no gas. It's not going to work. You don't need to follow some complicated diet. Just focus on eating real, whole foods most of the time. Plenty of vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats like avocados, nuts, and olive oil, complex carbohydrates that give you steady energy instead of sugar crashes, and stay hydrated. Dehydration actually increases cortisol levels and makes you feel more stressed. Most people walk around mildly dehydrated without even realizing it. Now let's talk about sleep. I know. When you're stressed and busy, sleep feels like a luxury you can't afford. But the reality is, sleep deprivation makes everything worse. When you don't get enough sleep, your ability to regulate emotions crashes. Your decision-making suffers. Your stress hormones stay elevated. You're more reactive, more irritable, and less resilient. Studies show that even one night of poor sleep significantly impairs your cognitive function and emotional control. Chronic sleep deprivation increases your risk of anxiety, depression, and physical health problems. So prioritize sleep like your life depends on it, because honestly, it kind of does aim for 7 to 9 hours. Create a bedtime routine. Turn off screens an hour before bed. Keep your room cool and dark. And if your mind races when you try to sleep, do a few minutes of that breathing exercise I mentioned earlier. When you take care of your body, you give yourself the physical and mental resources you need to handle whatever life throws at you. Strategy number 4, build your support network. Here's something that might surprise you. One of the biggest predictors of how well you handle stress isn't how smart you are or how organized you are. It's how connected you are to other people. Humans are social creatures. We're literally wired for connection. And when we're going through tough times, Having people we can talk to, lean on, and share our burdens with makes an enormous difference. Research consistently shows that people with strong social support have lower stress levels, better mental health, and even live longer than people who are isolated. But here's the thing, you can't build a support network when you're in crisis. You build it before you need it. You invest in relationships when things are good, so that when things get hard, you have people in your corner. Make time for the people who matter. Call a friend. Have coffee with someone you trust. Join a group or community of people who share your interests or values. Show up for others when they need support. And when you're struggling, don't be afraid to reach out. Vulnerability isn't weakness. It's actually a sign of strength and self-awareness. Saying "I'm having a really hard time right now" to someone you trust can be incredibly relieving. Sometimes just talking through what you're going through helps you process it. Sometimes you need advice. Sometimes you just need someone to listen and remind you that you're not alone. And if you're dealing with chronic stress, anxiety, or depression, please consider talking to a professional therapist or counselor. There's absolutely no shame in getting professional help. In fact, it's one of the smartest things you can do for your mental health. You don't have to carry everything alone. You're allowed to ask for help. You're allowed to lean on others. That's what makes us human. Strategy number 5, protect your peace. This one is about setting boundaries and learning to let go of what you can't control. One of the biggest sources of stress is trying to control things that are outside of your control. Other people's opinions, the past, the future, external circumstances. You can't control what other people do or say. You can't control the economy or the weather or traffic. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. You can control where you put your attention and energy. You can control your choices and your actions. There's a concept in Stoic philosophy called the dichotomy of control. It teaches that you should focus all your energy on what you can control and let go of what you can't. When you do this, you stop wasting energy on things that don't matter and channel it toward things that do. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, practice letting it go. That doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're choosing not to exhaust yourself over something you can't change. Another important aspect of protecting your peace is setting boundaries. Boundaries are not selfish. They're necessary for your well-being. It's okay to say no to things that drain you. It's okay to limit time with people who stress you out. It's okay to turn off notifications, step away from social media, or decline invitations when you need rest. Protecting your peace means being intentional about what you allow into your life and your mind. It means choosing yourself sometimes, even when it feels uncomfortable. And finally, make time for joy. I know that sounds simple, but it's so important. When you're stressed, it's easy to become all business, all survival mode. But if you don't make time for things that bring you joy, laughter, and lightness, you'll burn out. Listen to music you love. Watch something funny. Spend time on a hobby. Play with a pet. Do something creative. These aren't distractions from your problems. They're necessary fuel for your resilience. Let me tell you something important. Staying strong under stress doesn't mean you never struggle. It doesn't mean you never feel overwhelmed or tired or like giving up. Strength isn't the absence of difficulty. It's how you show up in the middle of difficulty. It's continuing to move forward even when you're scared. It's asking for help when you need it. It's taking care of yourself when everything feels like too much. It's choosing to do one small thing today that makes tomorrow a little easier. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going, one step at a time, one day at a time. And every time you use these strategies, every time you choose to move your body, to breathe deeply, to nourish yourself, to connect with others, to protect your peace, you're building resilience. You're becoming stronger. You're proving to yourself that you can handle hard things. Because you can, you absolutely can. So let's recap. To stay strong under stress, move your body regularly to release tension and boost your mood. Practice mindfulness and breathing techniques to calm your nervous system. Fuel your body with good nutrition and prioritize sleep. Build and lean on your support network. And protect your peace by focusing on what you can control and setting healthy boundaries. These aren't just tips, they're tools. And the more you use them, the more resilient you become. Here's your challenge. Pick just one of these strategies and commit to it for the next 7 days. Just one. Don't try to do everything at once. Start small and build momentum. Maybe it's a 15-minute walk every morning. Maybe it's 3 minutes of breathing before bed. Maybe it's reaching out to a friend you haven't talked to in a while. Whatever it is, commit to it and notice the difference it makes. Life will always have challenges. Stress will always exist, but you have everything you need to handle it. You're stronger than you think. You're more resilient than you know, and you're not alone in this. If this video resonated with you, please hit that like button and share it with someone who might need to hear this today, and subscribe for more content on mental wellness, personal growth, and thriving through life's challenges. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to invest in yourself and your well-being. I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong, stay kind to yourself, and keep growing.